And we'll go.
Here's your God call with Reverend Bill.
Go fly a kite. Now, I don't say that to dismiss you. It's because there's a wonderful metaphysical lesson to be learned in flying a kite. Oftentimes, when we think about tension, we think that that's something that's bad. But if you're flying a kite, then the kite is up in the breeze and you're standing on the ground, and between the two of you is the kite string, and that is under tension. If the tension goes away, the kite comes down to the ground or disappears someplace, and you're no longer flying a kite. So even when you're feeling tension, you can look for the good.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Ooh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Ooh, here we are. It is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everybody who has who's a father, who has championed life into the world. And congratulations to everybody who has a father or had a father, because we're all participating in that same game. And happy Father's Day to you. You guys know the rules when we're on Zoom. Go ahead and keep yourself muted, except when you're sharing, so we can keep this somewhat orderly. The thought that we're going to be orderly is just a little amusing anyway, but we'll do the best we can. Or at times when we're just going to be making a big noise together. So let's go ahead and do that. Unmute your microphone so that you can repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to the gift that is at hand.
I open myself to the gift that is at hand.
And I know that love is right here, right now.
And that love is right here, right now.
And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Ooh, nice. Go ahead and press your mute button again as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. So whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you into our Zoom today, wherever you're heading next. We have been expecting you. Welcome home. There's not a whole lot that is required as far as a belief or commonality. There's a little bit that we tend to have in common, so give voice to that so that you know what we're thinking about. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us. And that we're each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. It is easy to say, and not necessarily so easy to implement in life, but that's kind of the goal, what we're about. The way we say it for short is your new life begins with a new thought. If you have extra electronic devices that might be distracting you over the course of the next hour or so, go ahead and put them on shush so that we can focus on each other, so we can be connected in community, regardless of how disparately we are spread from, I believe, New Orleans to London is our geographical anchor points. I might get that. Is there actually, Dana, did you tell me there's somebody in Colorado?
There is somebody in Colorado and someone on Prince Edward Island in Canada.
Okay. Okay. So big spread out. There we go. Good for that. Uh, I'm Bill Marchiony. I'm the spiritual director at New Thought Philadelphia, and sometimes called the head adventurer. Could be. Our music today is by the amazing Anna Varsniak, who is in London. And our practitioners for the celebration are Jesus Baez, RSCP, who will lead our meditation in a little bit, and Joe Catanzaro, RSCP, who is going to start us the way we start everything, with a practical prayer. Go, Joe.
Good morning. In preparation for this, I was thinking about a few things that I'm going to use to open this up. So settle in, take a breath. We look around with our human eyes and we see separation. We're all over the map here as we come together. But that's the key. We can come together. If we start to look outward around us, not with our human eyes, but with our third eye, with our spiritual eye, allow that separation to fall away. Allow that feeling of oneness and connection take precedence. Knowing that there is only one, that one love, that one power, that one intelligence. Feel it. Let it flow through you because it's already there. But connect with it. Again, close your human eyes. And as we come together today in this celebration, allow your inner eye to see and feel and experience all of the good that we create. The sharing, the love, the thoughts, the music, the inspirations. Each of it hears and sees it a little bit differently, but we're really all one. So for all of that good that we create today, all of that harmony, insight, truth of who we are, all those feelings, I am grateful. I'm grateful for each one here and everything each one brings to strengthen that connection between us. So for all of this, I'm grateful. I claim it, I allow it, and I accept it for everyone here, knowing that it will flow through us and from us out into the greater world. So with gratitude again, I seek my word to the law that always says yes, and so it is.
So it is. So it is. Thank you, Joe. So, as we have mentioned once or twice, the reason that we do a practical prayer is not because God demands it of us or because we owe it to somebody. We do a practical prayer because it actually is a creative element that creates something new in our experience of life. And so we like to share what's going on with the prayers that are working in our lives. So anybody who has a prayer work story, you can either hit the reaction button that will raise your digital hand, or you can raise your flesh hand. Joe is going to has one to share for us.
So last week I was away. I was at conference, and I did not drive to the airport and park. I left my car home, left on Friday morning. And by Monday, my neighbor had sent me a photograph of the flat tire on my car parked in front of the house. I don't know how that happened. It was fine when I last drove it, but at any rate, so I have come home, I had this flat. So we managed to get air into it, and I drive it around the corner to the mechanic and tell him, yeah, these are brand new tires. I just got them. He said, well, do you have a warranty? I'm like, I don't know. So I go home, I find out that I have the warranty. They keep the car, they keep putting air into it. Because when you turn the pump off to inflate it, you can hear the air leak. I couldn't, but they could. So, okay, I have the warranty. Yay. So now I have to drive 3 miles to the tire place. And I thought, this could be tricky. I said, forget it. It's all in Spirit's hands. It's going to be fine. I'm going to get there safely, easily, and effortlessly. And I did. Made it there fine. They fixed the tire, and all is good.
I love when that happens. I love when that happens. That's the second best way for that story to go. The other is for your neighbor to have fixed the tire while you were away. Hey, Suze, you got one for us?
Yeah, I want to say this because I think Reverend prompt this practical prayer into assistance when this morning he said he got I guess a little speeding ticket and on the boulevard. So the boulevard is one of the most dangerous roads in the United States. So also it's another road here, Nice Road and Street Road. It's also one of the dangerous places over here in Pennsylvania. So they put a red light camera there. So I made a left turn and I saw the light flashing. It was like yellow turning to red. So the person that I was with said, "Oh, they caught you." I said, "Oh man, I guess I gotta do some prayer here." Hopefully it wasn't me, somebody else or whatever, but I was sure they got me. So the ticket came in the mail and I didn't open it. And then, I was praying, but the ticket was there. The proof was in the pudding. So when I come 2 days after, I open the ticket and it says warning. I don't got a ticket this time, but next time I will. So I guess prayer works. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Dina, was your hand up or you just giving us a thumbs up before?
That was just a thumbs up.
Okay. Yeah, as you guys know, the abbreviation for the steps in a practical prayer are RUR2GR, recognition, unification, realization, a couple of extra steps, gratitude, and release. And I knew that they had me because there's the picture of RUR2GR on the back of my car. So, okay. That was me. That was my license plate. Let us have some announcements now. Find out what's going on in New Thought Philadelphia world. If anybody has a kazoo, we will herald in Hannah with the announcements.
This tropical information is on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and on our weekly e-newsletter. Make sure to sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. We host 15-minute meditations on Zoom twice a day. If you haven't taken part lately, Zoom in this week. They're inspiring, fun, and quick. Monday and Friday mornings this week are also live on Insight Timer. There were more than 60 people online for My Religion, None of the Above on Thursday. We'll do another introductory session on Thursday, July 11th at 7 p.m. The topic is When Manifesting Stops Working, and it's open to all. Episode 155 of Reverend Bill's Practical Prayer Podcast is Relationships. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. Join in behind the scenes at the live recording session on Monday at 1 p.m. on New Thought Media Network. The personal practitioner class that begins in the fall will boost your spiritual practice to the next level. Contact Reverend Bill to see what you need to do to be ready. There is no obligation to continue to professional training in year 2. I'm sorry, my cat is like slamming cabinets. I don't know if you're hearing her. Follow, subscribe, like, and share our social media on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. And join the 1,836 spiritual adventures in our group on meetup.com.
That's your cat?
Yeah.
Your cat's got some muscle.
The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets on Zoom every Monday at 6:30 p.m. All are invited to join us tomorrow for this powerful group spiritual practice. We are always grateful for your financial support. You can make a tax-deductible donation by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit, or debit card. Thank you to the team that makes our celebrations work and has fun doing it. We get together before the celebration to put the pieces together. To join the joy, contact our volunteer coordinator. Next Sunday is online with New Thought Fundamentals. Reverend Bill Marchiony gets back to basics with a review of New Thought principles and practices. Live original music by the amazing Avi Wisnia. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After the celebration, Joe is available for a quick miracle and a minute prayer. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open after the celebration for a casual conversation.
If you do not have a cat that's able to perform percussion at your particular band, then go ahead and do that. Quick note, there's no podcast recording session tomorrow, so those of you who would normally be joining in to watch along with that, it's not going to happen tomorrow. I'm actually going on a couple of days of retreat up to northeastern Pennsylvania. So I got some time with my prayer partner, who you guys have heard from before. We'd like now to welcome our first-time visitors, and there are a bunch of folks who have found us through Insight Timer, the talk that we did on Thursday. And what I'd love you guys to do is just accept this, just to allow the blessing to flow in. Everybody else, those of you who have been around for a while, go ahead and rub your hands together. Feel the love, feel the warmth, let that build up, and share that out. These new folks, you are the bright light of God's love. Thank you so much for shining that light and sharing that love with us today. And welcome. So Anna's going to do another song for us. And as she does that, if you switch into gallery view, you can make eye contact with the folks we're in community with. Or if you have a device that lets you switch back and forth between screens, go ahead. Because the eyes that you're looking into and the eyes that you're looking with are both the eyes of God, and we get to connect with each other. Anna.
Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. to bear that you can't carry. I'm up the road, I'll share your load if you just call on me. You just call on me, sister. You need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem, but you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on for real. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Somebody to lean on.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So every week we light the flames of faith, and this week Hannah and her cat will be leading us in the flames.
She's hopefully chilling out. There was food in that cabinet a few days ago. She got into it. Now she won't leave it alone. Already moved the food. All right, flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our diversity and the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, natural way. We light the second candle for earth-based traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. We got a reading today. It's comes to us from the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes, and it's going to be shared with us by Sue.
The two great commandments. The two great commandments are to love God and our brother man. On these hang all the law and the prophets. Love is a complete unity with life, and we cannot enter this state unless we are in unity with all that lives, for all life is one. To love God alone is not enough, for this would exclude our fellow man. To love our fellow man alone is not sufficient, for this would be too limited a concept of God. When we realize that God and man are one and not two, we shall love both. We shall love man as an expression of God and God as the life principle in all. From this teaching, we are not to suppose that we are to love that in each other which does not savor of right. We are to love the right alone. We are to look for God in each other and love this God, forgetting all else. But would this compel us to accept from people that which is not good? Of course not. It is not necessary for one to make a doormat of himself in proving that God is love, for this would be like suffering for righteousness' sake, which is always a mistake. We should be wise in the ways of the world, as well as imbued with divine wisdom. We are not to mistake a counterfeit for the real, nor accept every man's doctrine lest we disagree. The truth is positive, but not combative. It is sure of itself, but never argumentative. It loves sincerity and abhors deceit. Above all else, the truth is wise. It represents the all-seeing eye from which nothing can be hidden. The student of truth will receive all that comes in the name of the Lord. That is, all that is of the truth. All else will fall by its own weight.
Been running, chasing tomorrow, yesterday, next year, and the future. Afraid that some things will not come, that I'll be running out of time. But there is nowhere I need to be. Timelessness this second sets me free. And right in this moment, I'm so alive. Been waiting for so long just to arrive. Couldn't find the answer yet somehow. It's now, it's now, it's now. It's now, it's now, it's now. Tell me, where does life happen? Was the present not enough to last? You're leaving now, but search for something better. Tomorrow it will be the past, but there is nowhere I need to be. Timelessness this second sets me free. Right in this moment, I'm so alive. Been waiting for so long just to arrive. Couldn't find the answer yet somehow. It's now, it's now, it's now. 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 Waiting for someone to show you how to. Maybe this time you're gonna find your way, be strong. Looking everywhere for something that's been here all along. But there is nowhere I need to be. Timelessness this second sets me free. Right in this moment, I'm so alive. Been waiting for so long just to arrive. Couldn't find the answer yet somehow. It's now, it's now, it's now. It's now, it's now, it's now. It's now, it's now, it's now. It's now, it's now, it's now.
Thank you, Anna. That was beautiful. That's an original. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. So for those of you who are at the talk on Thursday evening, it was the same title, which is My Religion, None of the Above, but the content that we're going to do today is going to be a little bit different. And I want to just mention that I spent a bunch of time in the technology sector. My most recent job, I spent 5 years working for a company that made online form submission and review processes. And it's the people who make online forms, they share little snippets of code back and forth. So there's a standardized list of all of the religions and all of the ethnicities and all the things that normally come up as a little drop-down question. And the standard list of religions is 24 religions, and one of them is none of the above. And New Thought or religious science or any of the other ways that you could describe what we're doing kind of fit into none of the above. And interestingly, there are 4,000 recognized faiths in the world, 4,000. And of those, 24 make the internet list. And then if you do any sort of looking online, there's the big five. And the big five religions are Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, and Hinduism. And it's interesting because that's the order that the list comes out in. And it seems completely reasonable as you listen to that list. And if you look at the list of world religions by the number of adherents they have, then number one is Christianity, number two is Islam. We're going to skip over the third one on the list. The fourth one is Hinduism. The fifth one is Buddhism. And Buddhism has 6.6% of the world population. Buddhism is 506 million people. Now, Judaism, which made it to number two on that other list, actually has less than 15 million adherents, and it puts it in at 2%, 0.2% of the world population. So there's something going on with the people who are making the list and carrying the top five, and it's really none of our business. Because those are all wonderful religions, and they all have something wonderful to offer. And as you notice, when we lit the flames of faith, we recognized 9 traditions. And when we light the flames of faith, we don't do them in order of importance or the number of adherents. That was actually created, and it is done in chronological order by when those spiritual practices and religions were created, going all the way up, which is why New Thought is the last one on the list. So I skipped over one in the list there, which is called secular / non-religious / agnostic / atheist. And it actually, and that's where we fit in because we're secular, non-religious. We're not really agnostic or atheist, but that's the only place where we fit into this list. And oh, by the way, we have to fit in somewhere because the total of the percentages comes up to 100. And that's actually third on the list. So that's 15.6% of the world's population, or 1.2 billion people who are in that category. And it's actually the one that's growing the most quickly, is none of the above. And there is a bit of a challenge and also a bit of empowerment in being none of the above. The advantage of being none of the above is that there's no one in charge. There's not a big organized something that's going on that's telling us what we have to do, who we have to be, where we have to go, or what it is that we have to believe. Do this, don't do that. There's nobody who's telling us those things. And when we're making our connection with that infinite creative power, that divine presence, that one love that creates everything, there's no middleman. There is no shaman or priest or any intermediary that we have to go to is then going to get the ear of the divine on our behalf and convince God somehow to do us a solid. So, and there are a lot of religions that have that. And that's a big feature of organized religion, is with organized religion, there is that hierarchy of, I'm sitting here in the pew, and then there's the minister or the priest or the shaman or whoever it is that's up on the platform who's telling me things. And when I want to make my connection with that divine creative power, I have to go through the guy. And there's a good news, bad news thing about that. Organized religion, and it can be organized either for the organized or for the organizers. And in a lot of cases, it really works to the benefit of the organizers. because they wind up with a bunch of people who are doing what they want to do. There was another story that I heard on the radio this week about a cult. And this is people who are convinced that the person who they're following, their cult leader, is the person who is going to be their intermediary and the one who's going to get them all the goodies and all the success. And what happens in a cult is that instead of just being interested in the upliftment of the people who are followers, there's the opportunity to tell them what they have to believe, make them do things that they may or may not want to do, give away their stuff, usually to the people who are running the cult. So when it goes sideways, and I am not going to say that all religions are cults, and I'm not going to say that all organizers of organized religion are bad. They are not. There is a lot of good. There is value in every religion. If we find ourselves looking down our nose at somebody who's involved in an organized religion, then we're missing the point. There are so many people from every one of these religions, whether it's the big five or the 9 that we have candles for, or the 4,000. There's value in all of them. There's an opportunity for us to connect with that infinite creative power, with our divine source, by participating in that teaching, however it's working. There's value in all of them. And when you talk to people who are participating and they talk to you about going to their daily devotions, they talk about the prayer that they do 5 times a day. They talk about the way that they, as a community, as an organization, as a group, are in service. There's tremendous power in that. There's huge value in that. I had the opportunity to go to the Parliament of the World Religions in Chicago last summer. And it was wonderful to be able to connect. And and I've told you this before, my favorite thing to do, walking from the convention hotel over to the convention center, I would just buttonhole one of the people I was in the elevator with, and on the way over, and this is McCormick Place in Chicago, so it's going to be a 10 or 15-minute walk. So I'd ask them about their religion or their spiritual practice and find out what it was that made it so compelling for them. And most of the time I knew the religion that they were involved in. And so I'd ask them the pointed questions that everybody who's like throwing darts at their religion would throw. Like, oh, well, your group shuns homosexuality. So what do you do about that? And uniformly, the answers that came from the people who are participating in all of these religions, regardless of what the reputation or the bad rap that they might have, is, yeah, I don't pay any attention to that part of it. I see all people as love and all people as light. And granted, these are all the folks who are going to the Parliament of the World Religions. So you got to figure that they're going to be the most open-minded of any of them. But those are the people who are in all of these 4,000 faith traditions. So when we say my religion, none of the above, if there's a list of 4,000 that are recognized and there's 24 that make the internet list and 5 that make the big 5, then there's about 4,000 that don't make it onto the list. About all of them didn't make it onto the list, and they all have something valuable to offer. And one of those is the Unity teaching or the New Thought teachings, which is what we're involved in. My particular education was in religious science, which was founded by Ernest Holmes, the guy who did the reading. Similar teaching is Unity, which started as the Unity School of Christianity. There's another one called Divine Science. There's the Universal Foundation for Better Living. There's Agape, which is a newer incarnation of that. And what we all have in common, what this teaching is all about, this my religion, none of the above, is about non-duality. We do not believe that there's me over here and God out there someplace. The whole foundation of this teaching, and this is the one thing that at the beginning we say we believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything. And that's the one thing that we believe. We believe that there is that one power, love, intelligence, or force. And then we believe that it is indwelling, it is in us, it is us, and we are part of that one. It's not God and me. It's not God and its creation. It's the whole, whatever your creation story is. And there are 4,000 versions of creation stories if you go to each of the faith traditions, including the one that the scientists have. And all of them say that it's all God. It's all that one divine presence sharing itself as its creation. In Judeo-Christian scripture, in the beginning there was darkness and void in God. God said, let there be light. There was light. Everything that happened is because God was saying, let this happen. And what did God have to start with? What was the raw material? It wasn't God and this big bunch of stuff. It was just God. It was just that one infinite creative power. Same thing if you're talking about the Big Bang. There was only the singularity, and it began exploding and expanding and evolving. And everything is that one taking its own form. Both stories, same thing. Everything is that one taking its own form. And that's what non-dualism is about. Everything that I am, everything that we are, everything that exists everywhere is that one divine presence unfolding in a different way. And there's a huge amount of power in that, because that means that all of the good that is available anywhere is available everywhere, and it's available to us. There is no secret force field that's keeping the good away from us, that there's stuff out there to be had, but we can't have it. All of the good that is available anywhere is available everywhere, and it is available to us. So rather than get into a situation where we are down here and God is up there and we're asking for a favor, and if God thinks that we have done a good job or behaved ourselves properly or earned it somehow in a way that we're being evaluated externally, then God's going to do us a favor and give us whatever it is that we're looking for. And that's not what this non-dualistic unity view of the world is about. We think that there is a balance of authority and accountability. Because there is that one creative power, and it continues to create, everything is that one. And each of us, by the way, is that one as well. We are that divine creative power showing up in our own way. That we are using that creative power to create the next experience in our life. We are the authors of the next new experience that we're having in life. We have the authority to claim that creative power and open ourselves up to whatever goodness it is that we're looking for, and allow ourselves and our experience to be the channel for that good coming into life. And if we set the intention for something to happen and it doesn't turn out the way that we wanted it to, then we have accountability. Whatever it is that we've created in our lives, we're accountable for. And we get to use that either as reinforcement that, yeah, the path that I've been on is the one that I want to be on. Let me continue doing more of this and bring more of this good into my life. Or to say, uh-oh, I have been creating something that is not very happy for me or for my family or for the people around me. So I am accountable to look at that, change what I've been doing, and set a new intention and author a new version in my life. And we've all seen those things happen. You know, you get yourself at the dance, and there's the person at the other side of the dance floor. You say, "Oh, I really want to have a relationship with her or him." Or it's, somebody who you meet in, some social situation or even a work situation. That's the person I want to be in a relationship with. And you figure out a way to make that happen, and you get your friends to introduce you, and the rest of it happens, and you wind up in a relationship, and it goes completely sideways. It is exactly the opposite of what we had in mind. Oh my gosh. Why in the world did I ever want this to happen? Well, that's the authority and accountability. Yeah, you created that experience. For whatever reason, we thought we wanted to have that relationship, and now we are aware of something different. There's more knowledge, there's more insight, there's more awareness that's come to us, and we get to make a different choice. One of the choices we get to make is, do I want to blame myself for what I did wrong before and beat myself up for the bad decisions that I, in hindsight, think that I've made? Or do I want to say the equivalent of, so what, now what? What do I want to have happen next in my life? And it's not to dismiss whatever that experience has been, but we've had that experience. We are accountable for whatever it is that we've created previously, and we are free to choose something different. Oh, that's not exactly what I wanted. I've been blessed in my life to have my best job ever, probably 8 or 10 different times. And each time it was the best job I could ever possibly imagine having. And along the way, there were some that sucked. There were some jobs that I thought that I wanted to have, and I figured out that this was the best way to do whatever it was that I was going to do next. And it was hell. It was absolutely awful. I was working in an environment that didn't support me, that I didn't get a chance to share my creativity, that wasn't paying me very well, with people who absolutely did not understand me or treat me nicely. And I remember the first time I got fired from a job, I thought, thank God, because I probably didn't have the nerve to quit this job. But the place where I was, the guy who was letting me go, the the it was at a radio station. The radio station itself, everything about it had been wrong for me, and I had tried to figure that out and tried to make it happen. And by being liberated from that experience, I had the opportunity to do something different. And then more of those best job evers were able to come my way. So the accountability part of it is not, oh, let me ignore what's happened. It's like I get to own what's happened and understand, maybe learn from what it was that I did, how I participated in that. And that next cycle through of my authority, perhaps make some more well-intentioned choices. And it's not like I need to figure it out, because there is an infinite creative power, one divine mind, one intelligence that knows everything. And when I let go of the fact or the thought that I already know everything that I need to know and that I can muscle the pieces together myself, and I invite that infinite creative power to co-create that next new experience for me, instead of saying, I want to have this job in this town, paying this much, doing this thing, I can set my intention for the experience that I want to have once I'm doing that. I have a wonderful opportunity to share my talents, my gifts, and my skills, to be generously supported in the work that I'm doing, to be engaged with a wonderful group of people and a really uplifting clientele, to do work that's valuable for me, to be appreciated in doing it, and have all that uplift. And it may be exactly the job that I thought I was going to be, and it might be something completely different. But when we set the intention for the experience we want to have rather than the details of what it's going to be, that leaves a lot of room for that infinite creative power that creates everything to create it for you. So what we want to do is open to an awareness of what's true for us. Do I believe all of this stuff? You can. I have been working on my belief system and the way that I'm engaging with this creative power for a large portion of my lifetime. The important part for you, don't do it because I'm doing it. Try it for yourself. What's true for you? What works for you? What doesn't work for you? When I start talking about authority and accountability, you get to the accountability part and you think, oh, I'm being blamed for the stuff that didn't work for me. Just be aware of that there's an idea in your mind about blame, and that that there's fault to be had. It's a creative process. It's creating something. And when you take the two colors of paint and mix them together, they're going to give you a third color of paint. And sometimes that color of paint that you get is exactly the one that you were looking for. Oh, this is delightful. And sometimes it's not the one that you wanted. And claiming that there's something wrong with the original paints, or claiming that there's something wrong with the process that brought that together, or trying to find blame there, it doesn't help. It doesn't do any good. The accountability is, oh, I have mixed these paints together in a way that has brought something that is not equal to the joy and glee and uplift and creativity and gorgeousness that I had in mind. And we find out what's true for us. And then we work the process. Johnny Coleman, who founded the Universal Foundation for Better Living out in Chicago, used to say, it works if you work it. And that's true of many, many things in life. And the spiritual practice is exactly the same thing. If you try it once and you think that it doesn't work and you leave it alone, you can do that. You're welcome to do that. It doesn't help. But if we go through that process and we're iterative about it, if we try something and we see this is working for me, this is not working for you, what's true for me, what is working for me, and then use that to go through another cycle. Okay, what do I want to create next? What I'm going to author next in my life, and go through the process and be accountable and acknowledge this is the experience that I've created for myself. We can do that. It works if you work it. So I'm going to close by saying that Jesus, who, by the way, his religion is right up on the top of the list. Actually, that's not his religion. He was Jewish. But Christianity has been set up about him. One of the things that he said is, the Father and I are one. When you see me, you see the Father. And he used the term Father to refer to the infinite creative power, that divine presence, that one love that's sharing itself as everything. And I mention that today, which is Father's Day, because we all get to claim that same thing. Jesus didn't say the Father and I are one and you're not. Jesus said, the Father and I are one. When you see me, you see the Father. And he also said, all this I do, you can do and more. That oneness with the Father is true for all of us. That divine creative power and presence, that is indwelling all of us. So if you are running away from one of the religions that was in the Big Five or somewhere else in the 4,000, or you never had one of those, and you are proudly claiming my religion, none of the above, we are free now and always to create something new in our lives. It is an opportunity to bring more love, more good, more joy, more harmony, more uplift, more peace, more prosperity, more vitality, more fill in the blank into our lives. And it works if we work it. So work it. Allow the good to unfold. You deserve it. So it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Anna, for preparing the space, the field where all things are possible. Let's begin with taking a deep breath. Fill your lungs and let it go slowly. Get comfortable where you at. Sitting straight, feet a solid foundation. Feel supported. Bring your eyes to a soft focus or shut them completely. Get comfortable with yourself. Still that mind. You can say, be still and know that I am God. We're going to take a brief journey, little trip in the boat. You could get in the boat, but know that you are the boat, the vessel, the instrument. Start with what's necessary. Then do what's possible. Suddenly, you are doing the impossible. I'm going to be quoting my brother, St. Francis. necessary. Maybe he didn't say it. Truth belongs to everybody. Comes from God. And we are the truth. We are the life. And we are the way. The way we get to the Father is through each one of us. Each one of us celebrate that Father within, Father's Day. So as I speak, we are listening to the voice, the one voice, embody, embrace, take it in the first person, these words. It would say thousands of years or 2,000. St. Francis lived 800 years ago. Before he was, I am. The I am is eternal. And I ask, I demand from the Father, let me have that glory that I had with you since the beginning of time. Father, God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there's despair, hope. Where there's doubt, faith. Where there's darkness, light. Where there's sadness, joy. The joy of the Lord is our strength. It's not with might or with sword. It's with the Spirit of the Lord. Divine teacher within. Grant me that I not seek to be loved as to love. To be understood as to understand. Because it's in the giving that we receive. It's in the forgiveness that we are forgiven. It's in the dying that we are born into eternal life. We are that vessel. We are that instrument of joy and peace. We take our vessel where we are and get into the ocean of life. Life with a capital L, which is God. This ocean of life, deep down, is fishes. In the air is birds. We see that in scriptures. Fishes and birds, those are ideas. Ideas that we get from the infinite mind. That's why we create that space. We create that field, even though we plan what we're gonna do, maybe tomorrow, next month. But we also have that field of pure potentiality, where all things is possible. Because God's ideas is always beneficial to our life. So we stay in tune with that infinite creator to walk in peace, in harmony, in joy, in creativity, in that love where it says, here, all new thoughts. The Lord our God is one. We love him with all our hearts, with all our strength, and all our mind. That infinite mind where we live and move our being. The journey of life is beautiful. Wherever we stand right now, where we're sitting, laying, it's a sacred place. It's holy ground. We are whole and complete in him that created each one of us in this wonderful and beautiful way. And as we go into the quiet together, embody, embrace, dwell in that secret place of the Most Highest, where all things come out and we see the tree of life and eat from the fruit of our creation here and now.
Use that all-seeing eye that we each have and use it to see the connections, the links, the attachments, communion, the network, the ties, all the ways that oneness is demonstrated. It may not be bodily oneness, it's spiritual oneness, because we come from that spirit. Waves look separate, raindrops look separate, snowflakes look separate. Each leaf on a tree looks separate, but they're all connected, just as we are. Or what makes us different than that? Nothing. We are connected as well as that all those other things are. And that allows life to flow through us. That allows creativity to flow through us. That allows all the good, we can imagine and create flow through us and outward to everyone else. Feel it, imagine it, see it, and know that we have this through that one power and presence, that one source. And most of all, be grateful for it. Because when you're grounded in gratitude, everything else just flows. I'm grateful for all of this that we share. And I'm grateful that Anna will now continue this with another song.
You've been through so much, so many ups and downs. You've given your love, but never liked the way it turned out. You closed off your heart, and you carried their weight like a million rocks on your shoulders. But you don't have to wait for an apology or for someone else to make amends. But you can remember that your healing is in your hands. Just let it go, inch by inch. Just let it go and do it again. Just let it go. One day you'll see it. Just let it go. You've set yourself free. You've been used, you've been abused. Someone came along who didn't value you. You carried their weight of your heart like a million rocks on your shoulders. But life isn't meant to be perfect, and we won't always win. But we can remember that your healing is in your hands. Just let it go, inch by inch. Just let it go and do it again. Just let it go. One day you'll see. Just let it go. You set yourself free. You gave it all. You put your blinders on when you looked around. All of your friends were gone. You took their fall, and you carried their weight like a million rocks on your shoulder. Just let it go, inch by inch. Just let it go and do it again. Just let it go. One day you'll see. Just let it go. You set yourself free. You set yourself free. You set yourself free. cute.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Wonderful. So we're up to the part of the celebration where we get to stand up and say something about what's going on for us. So if there is something that's come up for you as part of the talk or the meditation, by the way, wonderful meditation, wonderful prayer. I love the way that all of this has come together. So thank you for everybody who's been involved. But if you got something that you'd like to give voice to, go ahead and wave your hand or raise your digital hand and get a chance to say something about your religion, none of the above. Go ahead, Jane.
Hi. So last weekend we had our triplet 10-year-old granddaughters overnight, and they stay in Kendall's old room, which is now, of course, Jack's room. But I have a lot of Buddha figurines and statues there and around the house. And so one of the girls said to me, Grammy Jane, is Buddha God? And I said, oh, wow, I wasn't really prepared for this conversation. So I said, no, Buddha was not God. But I thought we would just end it there, but then they wanted to go down sort of this little rabbit hole of like, well, why do people like him so much, and why do they follow him? And I said, well, he was a very wise man and people really loved him. And then another one said something to the effect of, I wonder how, like, is there somewhere we can go where we can learn all about all the religions?
If I got a candle for
like,
you.
oh, good Lord. But it struck me as interesting because, when I was 10 years old, I was raised in the Catholic Church. Like, I had to go to church. There wasn't, it was like, this is what you believe in. You're going to Sunday school. You're going to go through all that. Don't question anything, And it was almost kind of refreshing to see, 10-year-olds in 2024 being curious about religion. And I thought, well, if I had really prepared myself for this conversation a little more, like this could become a teachable moment where you can be open to lots of things instead of like how things were decades ago, where you were born and raised into the religion that your family took you to, and that's what you know.
That's
so it was
beautiful.
very interesting.
That is beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Jane. And by the way, it was a teachable moment. The fact that you weren't prepared didn't affect the teachable moment. This is my opinion. Didn't affect that at all. It was the fact that you didn't dismiss the question or try and brush them off or lie to them.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I know about it, and that leaves the door open. And
I think Breen said something like, well, that's theology if you want to learn about all the religions. And then one said, nah, I'm the zookeeper. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But it's the fact that there was curiosity.
Yeah.
And a moment to engage, to say there's more than one way, but we're all one. Whatever you choose to do, it doesn't really matter because we're all one from the same source. But
yep,
it's interesting.
Yep. Be careful. It was the same sort of slippery slope that got me to be a teen advisor for 10 years. Ask a question, and there we go. I am going to invite Hannah to lead us in the offering now.
All right, getting there. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the website to make a donation by Zelle, credit card, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on screen. Unmute and we'll say the affirmation together. I live in an abundant universe.
Abundant universe.
I am one
I
with
am one with the infinite
source of all
good.
good.
all good.
I am a
I am a
center
center of prosperity.
Prosperity.
I
I
enjoy
enjoy the
the
richness
The
of
richness
life.
of
life.
life.
I bless my
Bless
gift.
my gift.
I share my gift with gratitude and joy.
Food and joy.
I know
I
that
know
as I
that as
give,
I
Food and
give,
gifts.
I
I
do
do
receive.
and so it is.
So it
and
is.
so it is.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, everybody. So grateful for all of the ways that we are blessed. Anna Varjniak, one more song for us, please.
Take all my wishes, words, and turn them into something good. Take on my preconceptions and let that truth be understood. Take all my prized possessions and leave only what I need. Take all my pieces of doubt and let me be what's underneath. Courage is when you're afraid, but you keep on moving anyway. Courage is when you're in pain, but you keep on living anyway. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. We all have excuses why living in fear, something in us dies. Like a bird with broken wings, it's not how high he flies, it's the song he sings. Courage is when you're afraid, but you keep on moving anyway. Courage is when you're in pain, but you keep on living anyway. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. It's not how many times you've been knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. Courage is when you lost your way, but you find your strength anyway. Courage is when you're afraid. Courage is when it all seems gray. Courage is when you make a change and you keep on moving anyway. Keep on giving anyway. Keep on moving anyway. You keep on loving anyway. Thank you.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a wonderful Father's Day. Go rock that Father's Day energy today in whatever way that means to you. Let us close with another joyous cacophony. Go ahead and turn your mics on and repeat after me. I am love.
I am
I am light.
I am light.
The Father and I are one.
The Father and I are one.
My light shines.
My light
Light shines.
My love flows.
My
My love
Love flows.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is.
Woohoo.
If you see me, you see the Father.
There you are. I see two of you. Father and I are two.
Yes, we are counted, but we not. Take care. God bless everybody. See y'all
Bye,
later.
Jesus.
Have a wonderful day. Lynn's great.
Good to see you all.
Eunice Rosley, wonderful to have you with us. Come back anytime. Anna.